Well, in fact, Madam Speaker, it does not have to be headquartered in Toronto. In fact, you could have a system, it's possible, it actually could be headquartered in Ottawa. You could have regional offices in Toronto. You could have a regional office in Montreal. You could have a regional office in Vancouver. You could have a regional office in Calgary. You could have a regional office in Halifax. That is a very viable system. In fact, the member, if he wants to get more information on this, should talk to the chair of the body that has been overseeing this, Douglas Hyman, who's from British Columbia, who initially was an opponent of this proposal, but in fact has come around to saying, I want BC and I want to be a part of this, I want to be at the table, I want to be actually defining what this regulator would possibly look like, I want to be defining what rules and regulations would be in place across the country. So in fact, that is what provinces like Manitoba and Quebec, Alberta should do, is state what their concerns are, bring forward their concerns and see whether it can be accommodated within the legislation, and then choose whether or not they wish to participate. This is a voluntary system. If Manitoba chooses it does not want to participate, that's up to the province of Manitoba. But he talks about a Conservative senator who he didn't name. I would just point out to the former Treasurer of Alberta, Jim Dinning, who spoke very forcefully in the Financial Post May 27th of this year about saying we need a national regulator, not a federal one. And he spoke very eloquently and wrote very eloquently in terms of why we do need a regulatory framework. A system of 13 securities regulators can't keep up. It's almost built to frustrate effective action. Canada came through the past financial crisis in reasonably good shape. We may not be so fortunate next time. We need to streamline the structure to help make rapid decisions. This is what, and he goes on to say, take, for example, the regulatory response, or lack of one, to the 6 electronic alternative trading systems operating in Canadian equity markets for the past 3 years or so. These platforms have captured more than 30% of trading volume from the Toronto Stock Exchange, yet
Order. I see a lot of members who are rising to ask questions, so I will give them the opportunity. The honourable member for Fort McMurray, Athabasca, a quick question.
Yes, Madam Speaker. I just want to understand from the member, we're eliminating duplication, we're eliminating unnecessary costs, there's going to be no office closures, no job losses, it's a voluntary membership, and it's a competitive advantage. We're competing against the world. Now, I would like this regulator office, if such happens, to actually be located in Fort McMurray, since I understand some 30% of the TSX is related directly to oil sands. But Madam Speaker, my question to the member is this, is why is the passport system not working as effectively as it could be to compete against the rest of the world, which is our competitiveness in this case?
The honourable member for Edmonton-Leduc.
Order. Madam Speaker, but I appreciate the member's comment in terms of clarifying that this proposal would keep the local offices, it would keep the expertise, it would keep that infrastructure. They would be part of the national system after they chose to. But the issue in terms of the passport system, because you still have 13 different sets of laws, despite how harmonized they are, you still have 13 different sets of regulations. There's still a need for companies who are willing to invest to have 13 different sets of documents. That is in fact true. You can talk to any companies dealing with the system, but you also have more than 30% of the Canadian equity market not involved in that passport system because the province of Ontario is not participating in that system. So this is one reason why we need a national regulator to cover the entire country to reduce overlap, duplication, and attract investment, protect Canadian investors.
Some comments, the honourable member for Eglinton Lawrence.
We in the Liberal Party, we have continuously advocated for mechanisms that make for freer flow of trade, of commerce, and of people. But one of the things that we've done is we've always been respectful of the processes that are impacted by the Constitution. And that's one of the reasons why we made the first suggestion to refer this to the Supreme Court. Now, if the government is going along already and trying to establish the infrastructure, which as I understand it will cost some $300 million, and the Supreme Court suggests that no, that would be inconsistent with the Constitution, is it the members' plan then to simply say, well, $300 million blown and no problem, or does he think it would not be a little bit more prudent to just simply wait until the decision comes down?
The honourable member for Edmonton-Leduc has about 40 seconds to respond.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the member for his question. I think, though, a government and political parties have to show leadership and choose what they decide to support. There has been the Hawken Report, a panel that was commissioned to produce a report on this, that recommended a National Securities Regulator. We in this party and this government believe that this would be in the interest of Canada. The Bloc feels opposite. The NDP used to and now has changed their position to oppose it. But the Liberal Party of Canada has to decide whether it supports a national regulator, whether it would be in the interests of our country, our citizens, in terms of protecting their investments better, in terms of attracting capital better. And if it believes that, then it is prudent to prepare for the day in which we can hopefully make that happen. We've referred it to the Supreme Court, a specific question to say whether it's within the jurisdiction of Parliament. We hope that'll happen within the next 12 to 18 months, and then we will proceed with legislation if we get a positive response. But it's incumbent upon political parties and governments to state where they stand on important issues like this and try to move the policy ball forward in order to protect Canadian investors and to ensure that we attract as much investment to this country as possible.